Good morning. I am Dibyendu Mondol. Today I am discussing about feed water and drum level control. Feed water, feed water and drum level control. Feed water and drum level control. Okay. Feed water and therefore steam flow in control to meet load demand by the turbine and at the same time maintain the level of water in the steam drum within relatively narrow limits. Normally, the water level in the drum is maintained half full up to the diametral plane. Okay. So if steam flow is controlled to meet steam flow is controlled to meet steam flow is controlled to meet load demand by the turbine by the turbine. Okay, by the turbine, and at the same time maintain the level of water. Okay, the drum level sensor respond to the error between actual drum level and its set point. Okay, drum level sensor responds the error. Okay, so drum level sensor. Another one, this action may be too slow and is supplemented by the sensor for feed water and steam flow. Okay. Schematic of a 3-element feed water control system. First one, schematic sketch of the feed water control system. Schematic sketch. First one, that one is the drum level sensor. Drum level sensor. Okay, drum level sensor. Another one is the feed water flow sensor. Feed water flow sensor. Okay, feed water flow sensor. Another one is the steam flow sensor. Steam flow sensor. Steam flow sensor. Okay, steam flow sensor. This one. Okay, this is the trimming signal. This one is the trimming signal. Okay, trimming signal. Okay, this one is the steam drum. Okay, this one is the steam. Okay, steam drum. Normal water level. This is the normal water level. Normal water level. Okay, this one is the control valve. Okay, so this one is the schematic of a 3-element feed water control system. Okay, another one is the steam pressure control. Another one is the steam pressure control. The steam pressure control, okay, steam pressure control. Steam pressure control. The steam pressure control system, sometimes called boiler master, boiler master, maintains steam pressure by adjusting fuel and combustion air flows to meet the desired pressure. Okay, maintains steam pressure by adjusting fuel steam pressure by adjusting fuel, maintains steam pressure by adjusting fuel and combustion airflow to meet the desired pressure. Okay, when pressure drops, the flow are increased. Okay, pressure drops, flow are increased. Okay, flows are increased. Steam pressure sensor act directly on the fuel flow and airflow control, such as the pulverized coal power drives and forced draft fan, to affect the desired changes. A trimming signal from fuel flow and airflow sensors maintains the proper fuel air ratio. Okay, schematic of a steam pressure control system. First one, schematic sketch of a steam pressure control system. First one is the steam pressure sensor. Steam pressure sensor. Okay, steam pressure sensor. This one, there is a pulverized coal power drive. Okay, pulverized coal power drive. Okay, pulverized coal power drive. Okay, another one is the forced draft fan drive. Forced draft fan drive. Forced draft fan drive. Okay, and another one is the trimming signal. Okay, trimming signal. Okay, trimming signal. Steam flow sensor, air flow sensor. Okay, steam flow sensor, steam flow sensor, air flow sensor, air flow sensor. Okay, steam flow sensor, another one is the air flow sensor. A trimming signal from fuel flow and airflow sensor maintains the proper fuel air ratio. Okay, airflow signal maintains the proper fuel air ratio. Since it is often difficult to obtain accurate fuel flow, a steam flow sensor is sometimes substituted for the fuel flow sensor. Usually about a 5-second delay is allowed when changing coal flow and air flow to ensure the prevention of momentary rich mixture with high fuel air ratio and thus assure smoke free combustion. Okay. Another one is the steam temperature control. Steam temperature control. Steam temperature control. An accurate control of superheat temperature is important for efficient power plant operation. The principal variables affecting superheat temperature are: first one is the furnace temperature. Furnace temperature. Okay. Another one is the cleanliness of radiant and pendant superheater. Okay. Second one, cleanliness of radiant and pendant superheater. Pendant superheater. Third one is the temperature of gases entering the convective superheater. Temperature of gases. Okay. Temperature of gases. Fifth one, mass flow, cleanliness of convective superheater. Okay, cleanliness of convective superheater. Okay, cleanliness of convective superheater. Variation of load on the unit. These variables are not unrelated, but interrelationships among them are not simple. The last one is the effect of load variation on superheat temperature is, however, the most important. A reduction in steam temperature result in loss in plant efficiency of about 20 degrees centigrade. In steam temperature result in about 1% increase in heat rate. On the other hand, a rise in steam temperature above design value may result in overheating and failure of the superheater and reheater tubes and turbine blades. Combined radiant convective superheater. Okay, there are several ways. Actually, superheater reheater responses to load changes which need to be corrected. First one, there are several ways of doing this as given below. First one is the combined radiant convective superheater. Combined radiant convective superheater. Combined radiant, okay, combined radiant convective superheater. Okay, combined radiant convective superheater. Radiant and convective superheaters are arranged in series to yield relatively flat final steam temperature over a wide load range. Okay, are arranged in series. Are arranged in series to yield relatively flat final steam temperature over a wide load range by taking advantage of their opposite steam temperature responses to load variation. Desuperheating and attemperation. Okay, desuperheating and attemperation. Desuperheating and attemperation. Desuperheating and attemperation. Control by attemperation means that the steam temperature is reduced by removing energy from the steam. Okay, control by attemperation. Steam temperature is reduced. Steam temperature is reduced by removing energy from the steam. Removing energy from the steam. Okay. In tubular type, a portion of steam taken out through tubes from a point between the primary and secondary superheater by an automatic valve diverted to a shell and tube heat exchanger, where boiled water from the drum may be circulated. A spray type attempter is called desuperheater. Okay, spray type attempter. Spray type attemperator okay, called desuperheater. Okay, a spray type attempter called desuperheater reduces the steam temperature by spraying low temperature water from the boiler drum or economizer exist into the line between the primary and secondary superheaters or the radiant or pendant superheater. The spray nozzle injects water into the throat of a mixing venturi. Okay. Now, our another one thing is air reheater. Air reheater. Air reheater. The temperature of feed water in present days power plants with 5 or more feed water heatings goes up to 170 to 280 degrees centigrade. It means that the temperature of flue gases leaving the economizer cannot be below 270 to 480 degrees centigrade. At such a high temperature of exit gases, the loss of energy with stack exhaust is high, and so the efficiency of the boiler will be low. It is possible to cool the exit gases in the heating of air supplied for the combustion of fuel. The application of hot air also leads to the increase of theoretical flame temperature. Okay. Now, our another one thing is fluidized bed boiler. Fluidized bed boiler produce steam from fossil fuel and produce steam from fossil fuel. Okay, from fossil fuel and waste fuels by using a technique called fluidized bed combustion. Okay, this can be two types. One is the bubbling fluidized bed boiler. Bed boilers. Second one is the bubbling fluidized bed boilers, circulating fluidized bed boilers. Okay, circulating fluidized bed boiler. In BFB, bubbling fluidized bed boiler, crushed coal is injected into fluidized bed of limestone just above an air distribution grid at the bottom of the bed. The air flows upward through the grid from air plenum into the bed where combustion of coal occurs. Whereas the CFB boiler, circulating fluidized bed boilers, is said to be the second generation fluidized bed boiler. Okay, second generation fluidized bed boiler. There are two sections. First section, furnace of a first fluidized bed, and second one is the gas solid separator. Okay, coal is generally injected into the lower section of the furnace. It is sometimes fed into the loop shield from which it enters the furnace along with return hot solid. The primary combustion air enters the furnace through an air distributor or grate at the furnace floor. Okay. The bed temperature is nearly uniform in the range of 800 to 900 degrees centigrade. Okay. Our next thing is the non-mechanical valve. Non-mechanical valves, devices that allow the flow of the solid between the return leg. Okay. তাহলে first one is the valve, non-mechanical valve. First one is the L valve. Okay, L valve, J valve, reverse seal valve, reverse seal valve, loop seal, seal pot. Okay, reverse seal valve, loop seal and seal pot. Solid in non-mechanical valves are moved by air. The air is added at a short height above the exit of the valve. The L valve consists of a right-angled bent pipe connecting the two vessels between which the solids are to be transferred. A small amount of air injected into the dense leg moves solid to dilute bed. The L valve can be designed from a pressure balance. Okay, L valve looks like an L. J valve looks like an J. L valve. This is the L valve. Okay. J valve, it looks like a J. Okay. The operation of J valve and reverse seal is similar to the L valve. The solid flow rate is controlled by changing the aeration rate. Okay. Okay. Thank you.